All right, good morning, Middle Tennessee and Southern Kentucky. Stefano DiPietro here with your weather update on this Tuesday, November 15th. And a chilly and a wet start to our day, certainly, as we were stepping out the door this morning. The umbrella is something that some of us will have to hang on to for a few more hours still. But the rain should taper off as we go through our afternoon. The cloud cover lingers, and today is one of those days where the temperature stays locked in the 40s, and that is going to continue a streak, or really start the streak, I should say, of 40s for the rest of this week and going into this weekend. So we are expecting a lot of changes to our forecast with big chills coming ahead both during the day and then very frigid nights on top of that. But let's go ahead and take a look at First Alert Live radar so we can get an idea of exactly who is seeing some of that rainfall this morning. And right now it's mostly along and east of Interstate 65 from Franklin and Southern Kentucky through Hendersonville, the Nashville metro area, downtown Nashville, Smyrna, Murfreesboro, down through Columbia, exiting the Lawrenceburg area for those of us in the Cumberland Plateau or areas east of I-65, Manchester, McMinnville, Crossville, Cookville, and Jamestown. These are the areas where we will continue to see that rain, maybe even up into the early parts of our afternoon. Even as that rain tapers off, this is something that is not going to change for us, and that is the cloud cover. Those clouds are pretty thick right now and across pretty much the entire mid-state. Maybe if we get lucky, we will try to sneak in some sunshine, but it just looks like those clouds are really going to take over for the remainder of our day. As far as the temperature department is concerned, it's not as chilly as it was this time yesterday, which of course was a good thing because otherwise that rain from this morning may have fallen as something different, but no wintry precipitation to talk about. 43 currently in Nashville. Lafayette, the temperature at 40, Crossville 41. I have 43 in Murfreesboro, Hohenwald 41, Canban coming in right at 42. So you need that jacket, you need the umbrella as you're stepping outside. You compare it to this time yesterday, though, at least we're doing a little bit better. We're seeing temperatures run 10, 15, even 20 degrees higher compared to 24 hours ago. So here is the deal. It's not as much of a chill, at least to start off the day today. But what we will see through this afternoon is because the rain has passed, the cloud cover lingers, and behind that little wave of energy that brought us the rain showers comes another round of colder air. Some of us were lucky enough to get into the 50s yesterday. That is going to be significantly harder to do as we go through the rest of this week and going into the weekend. It really does look like most, if not all of us, are actually going to stay in the 40s. So let's get a look at your forecast for today. Rain will taper off through the next couple of hours. Remember, for those of us in far east Middle Tennessee, it'll happen through the early stages of the afternoon. Farther east we are today, the more rain we'll see lingering into the afternoon. But temperatures should lock into the mid and the upper 40s today, and I want you to notice that wind shift. Right now the wind is generally nice and calm. It was coming from the south earlier this morning, but this afternoon the wind will shift to the northwest. That is the colder air that is going to make a comeback for the second half of our week and going into this weekend. And if you want to know how we're doing compared to average, today the temperature at 48. The average high is right around 62. So I want you to think about it this way, going back and looking ahead, or really backwards, I should say, to what we saw last week. The temperature was running 10 to 15, even 20 degrees above average going through much of the week last week. We saw a couple of days where the temperature was near, if not into the 80s. We have done a complete flip around, a complete 180, where now temperatures for the rest of this week and going into the weekend are going to be 10, 15, even 20 degrees below average. That is a big temperature swing for us, and typically for this time of year, when we're seeing temperatures in the 40s like this, we usually expect those late December through January. That's usually typical time that we see these temperatures, but you know that these forecasts can swing back and forth pretty rapidly around the mid-state. The overnight low tonight will be 35 in Nashville, which overall is actually decently seasonal for this time of year. But there's that rain we were talking about. We'll quickly walk through Futurecast, east of I-65 and parts of the Cumberland Plateau. Yeah, there's some of that rainfall that's left over. Temperatures are in the 40s by the lunch hour. Watch those temperatures. They are not going to move the rest of our day. That cloud cover lingers. 48 Nashville, Livingston 44, Lawrenceburg 47, a pair of 4s for us in Paris, Waverly at 46, and Murfreesboro coming in right around 48. If you do have any errands to run late today, there's no need to worry about any additional rainfall if you're leaving work and coming home and hitting the grocery store, or maybe just doing it after you grab the kids from school. There's no major weather problems, but you will need the jacket. Temperatures will stay in the 40s. And here's a look at those overnight lows for tonight. It does look like most of the area will stay above that freezing mark, but notice that the wind direction has shifted. You can see those streamlines, we call them. It's just showing which way the wind is blowing, and notice it's coming from the north and west, so that will also lock temperatures in the 40s for our day as we go through tomorrow. So this is a snapshot of tomorrow morning. We will wake up to some more cloud cover, but that will not last all day. Clouds will clear out by the time we get to the end of our afternoon. Temperature in the mid-40s. 45 Nashville, Clarksville 45, 43 in Shelbyville, and McMinnville coming in at 42. So here's a look at that forecast for tomorrow. The later we go through the day, the more sunshine we'll end up seeing, but those temperatures are continuing to lag because of that wind that's coming in from our north and west. And take a look at that first alert 7-day. There are big frigid mornings coming our way. After we get to 46 tomorrow, we'll drop down to the 20s tomorrow night. Thursday, we are at 44. Temperature going to see in the 20s again Thursday night. Friday, the same exact story. We are in the 40s during the day, dropping to the 20s. A few spots Friday night might even end up flirting with the teens. Saturday and Sunday, the weekend visually looks good with good sunshine, but if you have any plans, it is going to be chilly. You will absolutely need that bigger jacket. 20s during the overnights. If you are looking for our next chance to get back into the 50s, we will have to wait until Monday of next week. And even looking ahead, it does honestly look like we are going to continue to see those temperatures that will stay sitting in below average territory is what we should really say. That's going to be one of the big stories for us, even as we look ahead to next week as well, is that those temperatures really are not going to change all that much for us as we go through the rest of this week, going into the weekend, or even going into early next week. And as far as a chance of frost is concerned, I mean, it's going to be a pretty high chance to see a good frost or some freeze as we go through the next couple of days. I mean, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, all the way through Tuesday, it looks like widespread frost across the mid-state is going to be very likely, as well as the chance for another hard freeze as well. And as far as the following week is actually looking, it looks like this colder pattern is actually going to stick with us. It might not be as cold as this week, but as we look ahead to next week, you saw those temperatures on Monday that'll be sitting in the 50s. There will actually be some areas that go into our Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, all the way through the week that really continue to see those temperatures drop back into the 50s and 40s. I mean, you can look at the temperature outlook for the next 6 to 10 days. So this is looking starting 6 days out and bringing us all the way out to day 10. So this would be looking ahead to next week and even going into the weekend. And the darker blue that you're seeing, the darker that it is, the more likely it is that temperatures are going to be below average, and the more below average those temperatures are actually going to be. So that is an issue that we'll be watching closely as we start to go into next week, as well as if this colder air starts to stick around as well. Another thing we'll talk about probably closer to the middle of this week is the chance for any pipes freezing across the mid-state. Normally that tends to not happen until the temperature gets right around 20, if not just below it. However, there are going to be some areas that'll be flirting in that sort of territory as we get closer to the end of this week. So that's something we can fine-tune the details for with you over the next couple of days. So you'll want to stay tuned for that. We will be right back here tomorrow morning, streaming on Facebook, Twitter, our apps, as well as Amazon and Fire TV. Everything is looking great as far as sunshine is concerned. You can also tune into Roku as well. But it looks like that big chill is here to stay, at least all the way through this weekend. Those lows that'll be in the 20s. If you guys ever have any questions about the forecast, any plans you may have outside, you can always email us, or you can just ask us questions right here on this stream as well, and we'll get to them as we can. But I hope everyone has a great day today. Stay bundled up. We're going to need to over the next couple of days. All of that cold weather gear at the ready. Have a great day, everyone. We'll see you tomorrow morning for another update.